So what should we do for our opening?
List all the songs that should have been in the opening of this film.
Oh, there were some great ones. You had Jump, you had Money for Nothing, you had Bad, freaking Michael Jackson.
This was made for Smooth Criminal. Hello and welcome back to another midnight showing, although it's not really midnight.
It's not.
There's lights.
This was an earlier showing.
Yeah, and it was short. If you haven't read the title, we just got out of Minions 3. I mean Despicable Me 4. I mean Despicable Me Minions. Despicable Minions. We'll call it that.
Despicable Me 3.
Despicable Minions 4. Okay? Let's be honest.
They even had a Minions 2.
Well, they did. It's called Despicable Me 1 and Despicable Me 2. That's 2 movies. So this is Despicable Minions 4.
No. Minions 2 was the ride at Universal Studios.
Shh. They can't find out. But, yeah. This movie, non-spoilers and things, it's not horrible, but it's not
I wouldn't call
good.
it a bad movie.
I would be closer to call it a bad movie than he would, but I don't know. It's the first two Despicable Me's. The first one is a surprise. It looks like shit on the outside, but when you get into it, it does have a lot of heart. The second one starts really slow, but it does have one really funny joke inside of there when Gru is defending himself from Mr. Ramsbottom or whatever his name is.
Bottom.
Yeah. Well, but the other joke is like, oh, steal the moon? Then we're on a red. It's like, first off, you have no proof I did that. Second off, after I did that, I put it back. It's just like, that joke gets me every single time. But other than that joke, the opening of Minions, Despicable Me 2, is just so but the ending is much better. And then we get to Minions, and
No.
So then we get to this one, and it's this is easily the worst of the Despicable Me's, although it's still kind of third in my mind with these movies. It's 1, 2, 3, and Minions is ranking them.
The novelty of having somebody like Trey Parker in your kids' movie kind of bumps it up a notch. And then the whole 80s thing.
Yes. the 80s, everything in this film worked very, very well.
Yeah, it's very colorful for the kids. They may not get a whole lot of the 80s stuff.
And they try to turn the ending into Spy versus Spy for some reason.
It's just the credit sequence.
Well, not just even the credit sequence. I mean, the whole ending where they're, oh, one of us has to keep up the family business. Spoilers.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels like that's where they were going with it. I wouldn't necessarily call this a crap fest or anything like that. Most of the kids were pretty entertained. It's better than Cars 3. I think that's what we can both agree on. It's better than Cars 3.
I said, he said it's better than Minions. I said that's not hard to do. That's not saying much. Saying it's better than Cars 3 again isn't saying much.
Yeah, I mean, there's just much better movies out right now, and it's just as far as kid movies go right now.
Non-Pixar CG movies.
Well, kids' films are in theaters right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel that this one just isn't really good enough for you to take your kids to, like, at all. I mean,
get a discount on DVD or maybe Netflix. I saw Despicable Me 2 on Netflix, and I thought it was okay.
Yeah, Despicable Me 2 is yeah, go watch the first two. I don't think this one's worth your time, personally. But let's get into this sexual proper and talk about the spoilers and the CG stuff with probably the one thing that's actually going to make this section.
So it opens with exposition about our main villain. His name is Balthazar Blake.
Brat.
Balthazar. I'm thinking about Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yes.
Cage. Balthazar Brat.
With 2 T's. Because poor literacy is perfectly acceptable in the 80s.
Voiced by Trey Parker of South Park fame. Who is a failed child star from the 80s.
I don't know if you say failed. His show got canceled.
When he hit puberty during the 3rd season of this show, where he plays a supervillain who wins all the time. And holy crap, as 2 people, obviously, who absorbed themselves in the old 90s Power Rangers and has seen these effects in their heyday, that is a nostalgia trip, I will tell you.
The 80s jokes and imagery inside of this movie are so on point and probably easily the best things in everything. I mean, just the song choices, the acting from Trey Parker, especially in adult form when he's doing dance fights and electric keyboards.
Yeah, so he's based his entire life around his character on his failed show. And he absorbs himself in the 80s, and he apparently had all this money and technology to create these weapons.
Apparently he is a genius. Either that or his robot friend that he magically kept from his show, who gave him all the knowledge he needed.
Yeah. He's got a guitar that blasts sound waves of 80s music. He's got bubblegum expanding foam things.
Which they actually do a couple of jokes with that are funny. I don't like the Speedo jokes. They did that one twice. But easily, he's the most entertaining thing in the movie. I just wish he was in more of it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the good section before? Because
as Gru, Steve Carell is good. I could hear him not caring about it being his twin brother Drew. That got annoying really fast.
Yeah, but
You'd expect, like, the trailers made Drew kind of good at being a villain, save for like one scene. But he's terrible.
That just gets into it. Let's just.
Oh my god, Drew is so fucking annoying.
Look, say what you want about Steve Carell as Gru. He made that a character. He made it work. Steve Carell as Drew is one of the most annoying goddamn things I've heard from Illumination. And remind you, the Minions are in this fucking thing. Drew is as bad, if not worse, than the Minions. I don't know what Steve Carell was trying to do with his character by making him more high pitched.
Yeah, he has this.
It's just he grates.
He has
so
like
much
a
more.
higher lilt. Like, Gru has always been designed to be an antagonistic character. So his voice, the way he controls his voice, always has kind of a downward lilt to everything he says. This, he does the exact opposite, and it gets really annoying after a while.
It gets so fucking annoying fast. If you don't like Gru, you are going to hate Drew. And honestly, Drew, again, he sucks at everything in this movie. Literally until the last battle, where he suddenly can do stuff, which doesn't make any sense at all. There's no training, there's no motivation. Hell, when the girls get kidnapped at the end, and, you know, he's eating himself in the bucket of ice cream, and Gru comes running over, Balthazar took the girls! And I'm just like, why the fuck would Drew care? He only met them a day ago, and he's literally shoved them out the door so he could talk to you. There's no connection here. And that brings me to probably the biggest problem, in my opinion, is the lack of heart in these films. Look, in this film in particular. The first 2 films had some kind of heart inside of them. They had humanity to Gru, of him caring about the girls, actually building this relationship with Kristen Wig's character. I can't think of her name. What's her fucking name? But there was actually connection grown there. There was actually time spent on developing relationships. Here, there's barely any time for anything. We barely get the paint by numbers side of these things. It just doesn't work at fucking all. And it's so rushed. And I think the big what causes this big problem is the fact that there's like no time for anything inside this movie. There's so much shit shoved into this hour-and-a-half movie that feels like it's 2 fucking hours.
You've got Gru and Drew's plot.
Which is the main plot. We'll call it the main plot.
The main plot. You got the intermission. You got the intermittent things with Balthazar, how he explains his plans and everything.
Which is fine. He's the bad guy and he ties into the main plot.
It's probably the stupidest reason to have a minion plot. A bunch of the minions, save for 2, that they're marketing like hell.
Yeah, that they're quitting and leave.
Yeah, they get thrown in jail. So you have that plot, and then they escape because they realize they want to be with Gru again.
Yeah, and then they end up going off with Drew instead, which doesn't make any sense.
All of them do.
And then we get the final plot with Kristen Wiig's character, who's doing the fucking I want to be a mother thing, which she did from the last movie, didn't she?
Yeah.
And then the kids going for the fucking
That's not even...
unicorn.
If I could chop my thumb in half, I would. Because that's like half a plot. Gets absolved in like 15 minutes.
Yeah. and then we get the kids going off for the fucking unicorn hunt. Then they got the one girl who's dealing with the fucking boy she ate the cheese of.
That's not a thing. That's not a plot. That's a joke for Kristen Wiig to be quirky.
But
get in someone's face.
But again, it takes up time. That takes like 10, 15 minutes of the movie, doesn't it? It feels like it takes up that much time. You could easily just cut so much from this movie, and you get a more solid, streamlined version of it. It'd probably only be about 60
hour.
Yeah, about 60 minutes. I mean, you could make it longer, but you'd have to actually focus on the important stuff, which is
be a special
Drew and Gru. But they're so bad. Drew is so fucking bad, I don't know if you want to spend more time with him.
If you cut all that stuff out, it would be one of those hour-long cartoon specials to keep your kids busy, like those Puss in Boots things they're pushing.
Yeah.
Except better animated. Have you seen those Puss in Boots things?
I saw the trailer.
They are atrocious.
I saw the trailer. I'm not against the idea of it.
Not even the banner when you highlight it. Just the like little button moves, and it's very distracting. I've been looking for something on Netflix lately, and I find it, and it's Puss in Boots peeking out of a door and then going back in. And it's like a GIF of that. And I'm like, that is distracting. I don't like that.
Oh, you call that annoying? What about the other annoyance inside this movie? The fucking minions. We already said how their plot is fucking pointless and just goes nowhere. Yeah, they're as bad as they were inside of the Minions movie. They are so fucking stupid. They go nowhere. They are annoying, and probably the worst excuse I've seen in a while for a Minions song. Say what you will about the whole Backstreet Boys parody thing at the end of Despicable Me 2. You know, at least that tied into the whole wedding thing. This one, they just run onto a lot chasing pizza and end up on the X Factor. Or maybe America's Got Talent. I don't know which one they're parodying because they're all the same show.
Yeah. And then, I think that's the point. And then they sing a Minions rendition of Modern Major General because the music just starts.
Why? Why? It's not funny. It's horrible.
Like, don't the contestants like pick which song they want to do?
Yes.
Isn't that like the kind of the whole point is them doing covers of songs that
they pick what song they want to do? But most of these shows, when they first do it, they're not allowed background music, and they just sing. Well, unless you're America's Got Talent, in which case everything is so. Never mind.
it's well animated.
The voice,
It's Minions at the same time.
It's just Minions being Minions. At least when they did the Backstreet Boy cover, you know, it tied in, and there were some funny gags with them being Backstreet Boys. Here, they're doing that, and then they throw rolls of pink toilet paper they got from nowhere before getting arrested, and then we get that Pharrell song where they're just snapping, you see in the trailer, inside the jail.
A joke no kid in the audience would have got.
Yeah.
It's a West Side Story reference, kids. Watch it. It's a much better movie than this.
West Side Story
You're probably...
with Pharrell.
You're probably being forced to read Romeo and Juliet anyway.
So you might as well watch West Side Story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole subplot is just annoying. Every time they cut back to it, it was just as annoying. Although when they build the airplane, they're flying away. I did appreciate that the second class, majority of the minions were sitting inside of the big bag being carried. But then you got the first class people with all the nice seats up top, having a good old party. I think that was a funny joke. It was unsubtle as fuck, but it was funny.
It was either that or the whole 9/11 thing, which would have been just awkward.
Yeah. And just... Yeah, there's a few other things I could probably talk about. And hey, look, I got an email. I'm gonna guess that...
Low funds.
Nope, it's telling me to recruit Titus, Riku, and Waka on my Final Fantasy Brave Exodus game.
What? No RM?
No RN this time.
No
they
RN.
They only released 3 of 10. And ironically, on my phone, I got Riku. On my tablet, I got Titus. But yeah, it's... Oh, God. We could probably just sit here and go off on these for a little while longer, but let's keep this a little more streamlined and let's just get to it. Oh, there was one thing I did want to mention, though. I don't know if I just have a dirty mind, or if maybe this movie was just animated by a bunch of perverts, but there were a lot of really, really awkward sexual jokes inside of this movie.
Not just the obvious grew with boobs joke. That's
one.
in the trailer.
No, there's this bikini girl with some very, very big, hefty cleavage going right up to the camera with it.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. The first scene where we meet Balthazar.
Yeah.
The minions get launched onto the beach in California, and these 2, like, they land on these 2 nerds trying to hit on these bikini chicks, and they come up, "Are you okay?" Giant cleavage in your face, and I swear one girl is doing a Rob Liefeld comic book style. Stick your hip out as far as it could possibly go, even if your spine is gonna break on it.
Yeah, her spine is broken. Her spine is broken. But that's not the only one that's inside of this. Drew goes up to one of the girls, the middle one, I don't know her name, and he's just like, "Oh, you're such a troublemaker. You and I are going to catch some mischief." And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Back off, okay? I do not need any more of Batgirl Batman action here. Stop it. I know you're not related, but it's still wrong.
Drew, as a cover for his villainy, Drew is the highest ranked, or not highest ranked, well, the millionaire of this small little village whose main export is pigs and cheese. And they're, of course, in the midst of their cheese festival.
Oh yeah, which leads to the ever-loving line where the oldest girl gets pushed to eat another boy's cheese.
Yeah. The kids do this little clog dance, and the girls choose which boy to eat a wedge of cheese from. And then they're supposed to be betrothed to each other.
Yeah, of course that doesn't show up until later in the movie. But...
yeah, it's like a 3-minute scene.
And then you get Kristen Wiig like, no, go up there and eat the boy's cheese. And like, did you mean that the way I just thought you just said it?
Yeah.
Again, if this was just like a one-time thing, I probably wouldn't be bringing this up, but this happens like every couple of minutes. Right down to the point where Drew and Gru are breaking into Balthazar's lair, and they roll into each other in the kind of yin and yang portion, but Gru's head goes right in between Drew's legs, and Drew's head goes right in between Gru's. And just, is that a 69ing joke? Because this is a kid's film.
And this review is rated R.
Yes, rated R. And it's not the first time they've done this. The Minions did this inside of their movie too, with the fucking nipple joke, which they brought back for this one. Yeah, inside of the other one though, they did it in the background. Because there's like, ah, and he pulls up the starfish, goes like that, walks up onto this beach, and then they stare at the T-Rex, who's the biggest bad guy, of course. And it falls off, and then one of the Minions notice and just... and stares there for the rest of that scene! But, yeah, it's just, that was the one thing I wanted to mention. That was the one thing. I'm going to cut this and probably put it back over there, but that's the one thing I wanted to mention before actually getting the final verdict. But yeah, my final verdict is this is a Netflix at best, if not a skip it. There's much better kids films out there that you could be showing. Go just buy Kubo and the Two Strings. Give them something intelligent. They're gonna get their shit on Cartoon Network already with Teen Titans Go. You don't need to feed them their shit when they go to the theaters. I
feel like I've probably mentioned this before, but you can get a 4-pack of Coraline, Paranorman, Kubo and the Two Strings, and the Box Trolls. All 4 of those.
Three great movies with one really good one.
They're all great kids movies.
They're so much better. I just say that.
Quit hating on the Box Trolls, gosh dang it.
Okay, that one was just too weird for me to say that it was good or great. It's still good. It's very entertaining, very well animated. It's just like, I don't know what it was going for. It's a good movie, it's just not a great one. You got Coraline, which is amazing horror, and then you got Paranormal, which is somehow better. Then you have Kubo, which is one of the best films I've ever seen. Then you got this thing in the middle I just don't know what to do with. I'm making this so much harder than it really is. I'm making it so much harder. But yeah, that's basically our thoughts on Despicable Me 3. Or Despicable Minions 3. 4. What was the joke again? I don't know.
Despicable Me 3. We haven't gotten to Minions 2 yet.
Oh.
As of now, the ride in Universal Studios is Minions 2.
Yeah. But
it's shorter.
There is one thing that we can both agree on. I think it's the most positive thing we can say in this review. It's not Cars 3.
Yeah, it's not Cars 3.
It's not Cars 3. So yeah, that's it for us. Have you seen the Despicable movies? Tell us what you think about all of them in the comments down below. Let's get some healthy discussion going.
All 3 of them are on sale now.
Well, of course they're on sale. They probably upped the prices because the new one's in theaters.
Yeah. And anything with Minions, with Minions getting top billing these days is gonna sell.
Especially when their subplot goes nowhere and just keeps them out of the movie.
Technically, that's in chronological order, but one came out.
Minions, Despicable Me, and then Despicable Me 2.
Yeah, Despicable Me came out, and they decided they knew they were gonna make a movie with just the Minions. But that didn't happen until after they made Despicable Me 2, a few years later. Then they made Minions.
So why does Minions get top billing?
Exactly.
But yeah, follow us on the Facebooks, the Twitches, the Twitters, all that stuff in the comments down or in the description down below. And yeah, that's it for us. So I'm Kelly.
I'm DJ.
See you all
next time.